So I know a bunch of you guys have done this already, so watch it again for the first time, okay? So I have drawn some lines on this neck, and Chris and I will help you get lines on your neck too, so that you don't go too far with the cutting tool. So I want to show you guys what's happening here first, and then we'll jump in. So one of the things that I am doing now is I am positioning the neck 5/8 away from this MDF sled on the bottom. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want my router bit to ride on the sled and not on the neck. Okay, because since it's 7/8 round over bit, it's going to immediately start imparting a quarter of a circle. So we want to not cut into the fretboard right away. We want to tell the neck when we want to have that done, not the tool tell us when it's going to be done. Cool? So, like I said, we want to position the neck about 50 thousandths away from the edge of the jig. And that will leave us with a flat spot, which then we can decide when it comes off. Okay?
Gratuitous cutoff shot. Sorry.
Okay, so everyone kind of get a feel of what we did here. I've got this 50 thousandth shim, and I'm just going to put it on there, and as long as it feels pretty good, that's close enough for me, okay? And it actually, you know what? It's pretty good on this side too. So if you've been here before and we've switched it around and done, we're just going to run this guy like it is, because we're at least 50 thousandths away from the sled. Okay? So the pin router is all set up. I do have a shim underneath the headstock end, because generally speaking, the necks that we make here are about 50 thousandths thinner at the headstock end than they are the heel end. So you've got that nice taper. So we're going to build a little bit of that in first, okay? All right, so protect your eyes, protect your ears. The sled goes one direction. Have I told anybody not to back up on the router, Doc? Okay, this is the time when, if you back up on the router, I'm going to get sideways with you, okay? All right, here we go. I said, here we go. So everybody take a look at that. I'm going to make sure no one tries to put their hands in here while the tool is still spinning, because that will remove meat quickly. So as you guys can see, all we've really done is remove a bunch of the neck meat, and that's going to make shaping and sanding considerably easier. Okay? Yes, sir.
What's the bad thing that can happen if you back up?
It can kick the piece out.
Oh,
Okay?
that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're taking a fairly big cut with a fairly big machine here. As long as you go the direction that I went there, you'll have no problems. As soon as you start to go the opposite direction, that's when we could run into issues. That's when people start bleeding. Okay?
So we're not stronger than that pin router.
I doubt it. I mean, maybe.
Yeah, because you're pushing the piece into the cutting direction.
Yeah.
And if you go the other direction,
Yeah.
you're going with the
It'll-
cutting direction.
Yep.
And it's turning faster than you can move.
Yeah.
So it'll grab it and throw it.
Okay? So so this neck's done. The more you play it, the smoother it'll get. Actually, that's actually pretty decent. So now we're going to go over to the deadhead sander and we're going to remove some more of this material and make this look a little more neck-like. And you guys will be shocked and amazed at how fast it goes. Okay? Does anyone have a set of calipers floating
Yeah, I
around?
was gonna say, I'll grab you some.
Is there the little kind of template jiggy things that we can use?
Funny you should ask. Like these?
Like those.
So I've got some of these template jig things, and those came from StewMac. You can get those from a lot of different places. So if, Doug, you want to match a neck profile, that would be something that we could use to help get you close. There are not only profile shapes that you can put onto the neck, but also dimensions, so you can kind of get your calipers going and do that. Okay. When Chris and I first started shaping necks by machine, we started using the copy carver, which is kind of like having a key made. You know, you put the master one in and then you copy it. And that's what Fender did for a while. But before they did that, they had the deadhead sander. Now there's not a lot of pictures of deadhead sanders. If you type in deadhead sander and do a Google search, there'll be a guy in Birkenstocks sanding something. Okay, but the deadhead sander is called a deadhead sander because there's no idle or drive wheel. It's just a dead platen. And so this is not a true deadhead sander, but it's very, very close to what a deadhead looks like. I've seen the one at Gibson. I haven't seen this one at Fender, but I do have this picture, so I guess I've seen it. But if anybody wants to look at this. So we had to kind of reverse engineer a deadhead sander that we knew would work. Only we didn't know it was going to work. So we struggled and got it just right. And eventually, remember it was like the belts were flying off all the time, Chris? Yeah, but we've been using this deadhead sander for easily 4 or 5 years now.
How did you pick like this distance? You know?
Well, we took a neck and said, that looks pretty good. So yeah, it was.
That's a real story.
Yeah, it was an as-build tool. So a lot of people have said like, hey, do you have any like plans for that? No, because we just made it. So yeah, we had an old belt sander that we weren't using anymore, and we thought let's try it. So actually, this was the sander that we used to use to put radiuses on necks, and it had a radius call that was on this side, and we would take necks and kind of and that was, yeah, that's how we did it. But anyway,
And you can buy belts by the 1/4 inch.
yeah. So you can get like this one is this belt is a 92.5 inch belt. So if you needed a 92 3/4 belt, you could get that. Yeah. So okay, so this tool is positively terrifying for a lot of people to use, and people shake when they use it. I want to tell you guys what this tool is like. This tool is like making sweet love to your woman. And if you come up and shake and everything, she's going to know. She's not going to be impressed. So be firm and gentle all at the same time. All right? All right, will you hit the vacuum, Chris? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of just this little notch right here. Thank you. It goes pretty quick. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to contour in the end. So guys, this is a 36 grit belt. It'll remove a lot of material really quickly, but it's only going to remove material as much as you press against it. So I'm not removing very much material at all right there. See what I mean? jamming it in there, okay? So you can keep this resting on there on the belt, even though it's 36 grit. It's not gonna take it off unless you give it something to eat. It's not gonna remove material unless you push it into the machine for it to remove. Cool? Why don't you pass that around, Doc, and you guys can see how quickly this will shape a neck. Now, we've got a rough shape here, and that's a neck that we could just start playing. It's big, but we could start playing it, you know what I mean? Or we could fine tune some of the heel area and the headstock area, the transition from where it stops being a neck and it starts being a heel, or stops being a neck and starts being a headstock. We could get that exactly where we wanted it, and we could start playing that neck right like that. But we're going to continue to shape it and get it to the very, very close to the dimensions that we want it to be. And we're going to do a bunch of that on this machine. Now I'm going to be here the whole time with you guys working, and we'll go from there. We'll make nice stuff.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, guys. The last thing you're going to do before you start sanding is we're going to use a rasp to clean up this area here and this area by the heel, unless you just so happen to get it exactly perfect. So the transition from where it stops being a neck and it starts to be a headstock is something that I like to just kind of get in here a little bit with the rasp. It doesn't take a lot of pressure, and smooth that out and get it. I'm not taking a piss here. This is the real thing. You guys know what necks feel like, so if it feels good to you, then then go from there. If you come up and ask me, then you're gonna get what I think feels good, which that is perfectly acceptable too. In fact, it might be better. No. Okay? So we're just gonna smooth some of that out. This transition right here where you go to the tuner side is always more difficult because it's tighter and it's usually flatter right through here. So if anyone comes and asks me if that's good enough, I'm probably going to say no. So if you really like it, just deal, just live. No, don't do that. Make a good neck, you guys. Always be feeling, always be, your eyes will tell you it looks good, your fingers will tell you it's not done yet. Okay? This is the area, or this is the part where if you guys want to use those template stock, this would be a great time to start doing that. And get this looking like a neck and feeling like a neck too. Okay, once we get that, we'll do the heel, and the same kind of thing. You really just kind of want to blend in this this area a little bit. I like to, look how that big chunk came off of there. That's cool. I like to have my heels be round, but the Fender heels kind of scoop in a little bit, which we will probably end up doing on this because a piece of that roasted maple came off. So in order to do that, you just kind of, you put your belly into the heel of the neck because Jesus and Leo Fender said so. That's how you know God loves guitar builders. He gave us all a little bit of a belly to use here. Okay, gang. So something a little like that, and then sandpaper will sort out the rest, and your necks will be ready for finish. So we covered a lot of stuff in the last, 20 minutes. There's bound to be a handful of questions.
With the guides for templates or whatever.
Yeah.
The nut width that we're using is different, or might be different than the nut width.
Yeah, why don't you grab one? Grab one and that set of calipers that's over there, Don.
Okay. Is it
When
not
you-
which one?
Doesn't matter, bring them all.
When you took the extra off here, after you got rid of the ridge there, okay, you mentioned that you keep your neck straight, but when you're doing that portion, do you want to concentrate on that, on the deadhead?
Well, that's a great question, Doug. You can put more pressure on one spot and turn it, but you want to keep the neck against the platen so you don't dig a hole into here. So you can put more pressure on it and really grind that one patch off. But what you don't want to do is dig in there. I think when you get your hands on it, you'll start to feel it a little bit.
Yeah, he was using it might not be obvious, but he's using the end of the platen to do that process there, but it's still staying flat, but he's using where it starts to round back over.
So this is the JB Strat. At the width at the nut is 1675. The width at the nut on this neck is 169. So we're really close. So we should be able to take this at the first fret, if you like this, and kind of match that. You see we got a little bit more light shining through there than here. So we could work that in with a rasp or some sandpaper, and then we could go to the 7th fret. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And same deal. You see what I don't know if you can see it. You see what I'm talking about? And then 12th fret. Actually, the 12th fret looks really good, but if you want to use this. So what I would do if I were you, Don, is pencil, please. Right, there we go. So if you wanted to use those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, draw a line, even if it's a half-ass line. And take your 7th fret thing here, and it looks like we've got a patch. We've got a patch right here and a patch right here that are high. Okay, so we can kind of start shaping those in. To match, okay? That actually looks pretty decent, and then we can go to the 1st fret. We've got a high patch right here. And what we're going to do when we do that, Don, is we're going to put slightly low pieces right here. Okay, so if I file this with a rasp right here, and I file it at the 7th fret, and I have all that same height right in between the 1st and the 7th, what I'll do then is I'll take a block with 80 grit or 60 grit and sand that longitudinally and get rid of all the material all in the same contour all the way around. Cool?
Makes sense.
Okay.
Is there longer blocks for that then?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So if you're going to do this, guys, constantly be checking until it looks right. That looks pretty good. And that looks pretty good. Option 2 is we could go back to the deadhead sander. Okay? So you could get a block and sand and sand and sand, or we could go back to the deadhead sander and just kind of kiss those areas. In fact, let's do that now because that sounds like way more fun. So remember I said this is a finesse tool? I got the thing.
Oh yeah.
This is a finesse tool. We don't have to take a ton of meat off when we do this, okay? You'll be able to hear that we're not taking much off. Doug, you see how I'm not attacking it like this? I've got the piece all the way on the flat. And I can trust by feel that I'm not angling it one way or the other. All the CNC guys are going, hey, you said it only took 2 minutes, then he has to go back. Yeah, up here is CNC guys. Okay. So that should be very, very close to what we're looking for desired profile. And of course, so what size neck do you want?
Well, I go with fairly narrow because I got stubby little fingers.
It's really too bad you don't have hands like a 3-year-old Korean kid.
No.
Have you ever seen those guys, like the kids with the great big classical guitars, little teeny tiny kids just going for it?
Yeah, but you got skill there, and I have none.
There. You know, you got curves, and you just shove the rack in and it pulls and you go on its own little step down.
This was shut the door down, pull it out under.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did that since basically since I was 20 years of age, but I went in and out of other business during that time, but then ended up back in that business.
I want to just do that first program.
Oh, right.
I definitely changed the shape just by changing that little swoop instead of out the hand the way you did. It's like a totally different. I like it.
There we go.
put nitrocellulose over top of that other thing?
When we first started using it, we were still using lime for top coat.
Neck is 0.92 at the first fret and 0.97 at the 12th fret. I like them to be about 8.6 to 9.0. Okay? So we are going to remove material and shape the neck as we go. And got the timer set. Let's see how fast we can do it.
Hang on. Hang on. Timer. Wait, stopwatch. There we go.
Okay, vacuum. CNC ever thought about being. The difference is the CNC machine makes the same neck every single time, and you don't have to have someone who's skilled to use it. So the deadhead sander can make necks fast, fast, fast. If you've done it one time before, like I have. So I've done this, I did it like right before you guys got here. I did it once to make sure I got my technique down. So it takes about 2 minutes to make a neck on the deadhead sander. Couple of things that I want you guys to watch out for is make sure that you don't angle the neck like this or like this. Always have the same amount of pressure on every spot, okay? So if you put pressure here and try to do, you're gonna dig a trough, okay? Or if you do something kind of like this, or if you're unsure of something, don't worry, I'm gonna be here to yell at you, okay? But we're gonna make awesome necks, and you don't have to shove it in there like I was doing as hard as I was. We can go nice and slow, okay? And yeah, we'll make super cool necks. Any questions on deadhead sander? You guys chomp at the bit to try it?
It's good.
No?
It's good.
Okay. All right, so after we're done on the deadhead sander, we've got a little bit of stuff to clean up in the patch where the deadhead sander cannot get. And we're gonna go over to the other table here and get a rasp out and do that now. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you. You'll notice that flat spot that was left by the pin router is gone. I waited to the very last second, I just broke that corner. Okay? Lots of sanding that we'll do to get it the rest of the way. Okay. And then we start rocking out.
I wanna play my guitar the only way